All right, Bobcat fans, welcome to Center Court. Coach Rusty Walker, Guy Walker here, my cousin here, and we got Jay Hall over here. Coach Walker, how are you today?
I'm great.
It's good to see you. Let's get right into it. 28-4, had a tough loss against the other night against Sulphur. How do you bounce back from that kind of?
Well, it was a tough loss, obviously. Just like when we went there and beat them, that was a tough loss for them. So, credit to them. They came out on the good end of that the other night. They played well. I thought we played well enough to win. We got a great look at it at the buzzer, and it just didn't go our way. But there's been a lot of things this year that could have been wins or losses that we came out on the good end of all season long. So, we just got to move to the next one and get ready for Friday.
Well, I mean, what did you see that we need to work on a little bit different come up Friday? I know Friday Longview is coming to town, and Longview is one of our other losses, but that night was an aberration. I'm gonna just say that because our free throw percentage that night was horrendous, and our shooting around the perimeter was just horrendous.
Well, those are two strengths of ours, and we certainly, they were certainly not real good that night. But hey, credit to Longview on that night as well. Certainly, they had a lot to do with that. For whatever reason, we didn't respond real well to the game, and we're gonna have to do a lot better job on Friday. Friday's a special night. It's our last home game, and it's senior night for our 10 seniors, and I don't think we've ever had 10 seniors on one team, and what a great group of kids.
So we may have to start the night at like 4 o'clock with all the seniors.
Yeah, we're going to have to call Coach Newton over at Longview and make sure he knows that it's going to be a little bit longer before the game. But it'll be great just to publicly recognize those kids. And they've all put a lot of hard work in. It's a lot of things that go into, of course, being on the varsity. But not only that, making it all the way through our program until your senior year, sticking it out, all the practices and the sacrifices that go with that. And I can't say enough about those kids.
So how hard is that for you? You've had, like Luke, he's been here on your team for 3 years. You had some of them guys on there for 4 years. That's just it's like one of your babies, one of your kids.
It's very emotional for me. And I don't know if the audience knows this, but I'm an emotional person anyway. And
we hadn't noticed.
So really, when you put your heart and soul into something, and you see kids develop over time, and you meet them at a young age, and you stay somewhere long enough to see them be seniors, and you've accomplished things together, of course it's emotional. And hopefully we can channel some of that energy Friday night and use it in a positive way. And I know that all those seniors, and in addition, our other two guys on the team, they want nothing more than to end the home season with a win, and kind of get Longview back a little bit for beating us in the first round.
So, well, like we talked about Luke, we was talking to Luke earlier. The stands have been completely packed. That has been pretty awesome. The feedback from the community, again, that has got to help the program.
I cannot tell you how exciting it is from my perspective to look up and see people that have come out. And listen, they're coming out to see these guys, and they're watching these guys because these guys play so hard. And I think it's obvious when you watch us that they like playing together. And that's what we've got to do Friday. We got to play together as a team. We got to guard. And, in any game, especially a rivalry game, when it's there's going to be some points during the game where it can kind of go either way with the ebbs and flows of the game. And that's when we'll have to pull together. And I think, by and large, that's something that people really consistently see with this team.
Okay. After seeing, I know you watched the film on Longview a ton. What do you change? Do you make wholesale changes for the second time around? Or do you just kind of stay with what's got you, what's got you there all year long?
Well, Longview has a certain style that they play, and we have a certain style that we play. And, Coach Newton and I are pretty good friends, so we know each other pretty well. We've played each other a lot. We've had success against them. They've had success against us over the years. And I just think they've got a good ball club. And, they're trying to solidify a playoff spot. We're trying to solidify seeding. And so both teams have a lot to play for on Friday. And more than anything, what we always talk to with our guys is we just have to execute our stuff. And we pride ourselves on playing really hard, and that being obvious to people when people watch us. That's what we talk about all the time. We probably talk about that more than X's and O's in scheme. We talk about playing hard, sharing the ball, playing for each other, and we feel like our X's and O's and those kind of things are pretty good, but they're nothing without those other qualities.
Now, from my biggest question is, I've sat here and watched and listened to you for several weeks now.
Uh-huh.
I've became more of a fan of basketball because of this season. I didn't know who Luke was up until Mount Pleasant.
Right.
And I got to watch that video over and over, and it was amazing. But I guess my question is, in your eyes, from I guess year to year, because you had so many same players for a couple of years now, what's the biggest improvement to get them to mesh together like you have this year?
It's team chemistry, and it's a willingness to do what it takes for the other guy, and it's so stereotypical to say, but it's having a little bit less of me and a lot more of we, and this group has embodied that. At their best, they really, really do that. And just like any other team throughout the course of the season, they got to have reminders. They got to, come together in a room and talk about, where we came up short. But by and large, this team's done that more than any other team that I've coached here at Hallsville, and in a lot of ways, more than any team I've ever coached.
So it's easy to say they feed off one another.
No doubt. No doubt.
All right, Coach, I want to, real quickly, let's talk about playoffs.
Yes, sir.
We're in the playoffs. Tell me some scenarios. We win out, we're number one, or we number two. Tell me our scenarios.
There's just a lot of scenarios because at this point, ourselves, Sulphur Springs, and Mount Pleasant are all 8-2, and we've all got 2 games left. And Sulphur and ourselves have split, and we fortunately beat Mount Pleasant here at the house, and we played them the last game. So there's just a lot of configurations of how it could go down the stretch. We're all tied with 2 games to go. Nobody can really predict it. We know this: if we win out, then we at least will have a share of the district title. And at that point, it will, you don't know if it's going to be a co-championship or how that's going to go. And for the listeners out there, in basketball, there's no point differential or anything like that you do with tiebreakers. You look at head-to-head, and if you finish with the same record and you split, then it's a co-championship. And you either play it off for seeding, or you flip a coin for seeding. And so there's a lot of reasons why you would do either one of those situations. And we'll see how it goes. It all has to do with your route. In Texas, with Texas playoff system, everything is predetermined by districts. The first place team in this district plays the fourth place team in this district. The second place team in this district plays the third place team, and so on and so forth. So in deciding how you would play something off or not, a lot of it comes down to the route. It also comes down to, do you really want to play another game? You want to risk injury? Right. Do you want to allow people to come scout you live again? Because if you have a playoff for a playoff spot, that means most other people in the state aren't playing that night. And so it just enables other teams and other programs to really get a beat on what you're doing. And you just have to decide if it's going to be worthwhile or not. Again, we don't know any of that stuff yet. We're trying to take it game by game like we have. First with Longview, and then we'll worry about Tuesday. And, remember Sulphur and Mount Pleasant still have to play each other. They play each other Friday as well. And that'll give some clarity on where things are.
All right, Bobcat fans, thank you for joining us. This has been Center Court, sponsored by Roof Masters and your local Sonic. Go Bobcats.
Go Bobcats.